We're now in the final week of tax filing season. While filing season typically ends on April the 15th, this year taxpayers have until May 17th to file or request for an extension. This is also the third filing season under the Tax Cuts and Reform Republican enacted in 2017. For the vast majorities of Americans, this means that they're paying significantly less in income taxes than they were under the prior law. Moreover, thanks to nearly doubling of the standard deduction, most Americans are paying less without the headache of itemizing their taxes. More importantly, prior to the pandemic, tax reform contributed to the best economy America had seen in decades. Unemployment reached a 50-year low and was at or below 4% for 24 consecutive months. Family income, workers' wages experienced robust gains. In fact, wage growth was strongest for low-wage workers. As a result, we actually saw income inequality decline. Unfortunately, the current administration's ambitions to use the pandemic as an excuse to pass a big government anti-growth agenda threatens our return to a thriving economy. First came their $2 trillion untargeted COVID relief bill that focused more on enacting a liberal wish list rather than a pandemic relief. A lot of my colleagues have referred to only 10% of that $1.9 trillion bill actually being related to problems caused by the pandemic. The dangers of passing this untargeted and largely unnecessary spending are already beginning to weigh on our economic recovery. Throughout the economy, prices are soaring. Job growth is tepid. April job growth, the data fell short of expectations by more than 700,000 jobs. This is deeply concerning, and it ought to be to every one of the members of the Senate. I've heard firsthand from business after business in my state of Iowa that they're desperate for workers, but job applicants are scarce. As my Republican colleagues and I have warned our Democrat colleagues for months, this is the natural result of the Democrat policies that pay people more not to work than to work. Yet, despite the obvious overreach of their liberal agenda, my Democrat colleagues are preparing to double down with an additional $4 trillion big government spending spree. And then in turn, to finance their progressive dreams, they're proposing trillions of dollars of job-killing tax hikes. And you just heard it from my colleague from Ohio, Senator, as he went into that very deeply, how those tax policies are going to hurt our economy and the workers in our economy. Their proposal to roll back critical reforms to our corporate tax system would result in the U.S. once again having the highest corporate tax rate among our major trading partners and incentivize companies to move headquarters abroad. Small businesses are also in their crosshairs. Family businesses and farms could be decimated by proposals to hike capital gains taxes and subject paper-only gains in family business assets to tax immediately upon the transfer of that farm or that business at death. My Democrat colleagues' tax proposal would make the U.S. a less attractive place to invest. It would erode American competitiveness, and it would slow our nation's post-pandemic economic recovery. That means fewer jobs. It means lower wages for middle-class Americans. Post-pandemic prosperity won't be achieved through higher taxes and big government spending programs. It's going, or the government itself, which consumes and doesn't produce wealth. The real wealth of America is created by the working men and women of this country. So this is going to, if we're going to have this growth, it's going to be achieved through pro-growth policies and unshackling our economy from stringent pandemic-era restrictions as we move towards a vaccinated world. I yield.